Good morning, Newton D. Baker 8th graders. As you can see, my class is starting to be set up for socially distanced learning. Looks like in January at this point, but we're starting to work on getting set up for you guys to come back. All right, today's problem of the day, multiplying scientific notation. Give it a try. And then today's assignment's a little more difficult. Hit pause, write everything down you see, including the notes. And I'm noticing the ones that are writing down the notes are doing better on the assignments. So make sure we're doing that. All right, so multiplying scientific notation. So we know when we multiply, since these are all multiplication signs, we can change the order. So I'm going to put the two exponents in this parentheses. I'm going to put the two decimals over here. And this makes our life easier. So we know when they have the same base, we can just add the exponents. So I have 10 to the 29. And then I do 6.42 times 3.1. And I'm going to use my calculator. You guys really going to need calculators today. If you only have a phone, that's fine too. So it's 19.902. All right, so this is not in scientific notation. There's two significant digits before the point. We know we only want one. So I have to move that point over one to the left. When I go to the left, we know this bumps this up one, right? So 1.99, I'm not going to write the last two numbers. I just like to do two decimal places. This gets bumped up to a 30 since we moved it over one. And there is our scientific notation. Now here's one where you could say why it's way easier to write in scientific notation. This number would be giant. It would be 199 with 28 zeros after it. So that'd be a big number. All right. So multiplying scientific notation. That's how it works. Add the exponents, multiply the decimals. Make sure you're in scientific notation when you're done. And you're all good to go. Don't forget dividing. If you were dividing, you subtract these, right? All right. You divide the exponents. All right. So today, it's a little bit tricky today. Adding and subtracting scientific notation. So you may be wondering why, Mr. Habercorn, did we multiply and divide before we add and subtract? Because the multiplying and dividing is easier. The adding and subtracting is a little trickier. So let's talk about that. All right. So we have steps. Make the larger exponent equal to the smaller exponent. Move your point to the right and line up your decimals and then add or subtract. So that doesn't make any sense yet until I start showing you a problem, okay? So let's take a look at one. All right, 5.97 times 10 to the 24th plus 7.35 times 10 to the 22. Now, since we're adding here, we cannot change the order. We have a multiplication sign, an addition sign, and a multiplication sign. They're not all the same. Can't change the order. It's got to stay in the order it's in. So we're going to just follow our steps here, okay? So it says make your larger exponent equal to the smaller exponent. So we can't add these the way they are. These numbers have to be the same. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make my larger one the same as this one. Now, it says move your point to the right. Well, how far do we move it? So how many numbers? I moved this down 2 numbers, right? From 24 to 22. That's two spaces I changed. So I have to move my point to the right 2 spaces. So now I just have 597. My point's hiding here at the end, so we don't need it. Okay. So now we can add. Line up your decimals. This is back to 7th grade. Line up your decimals, right? So I'm going to add this and this. All right? So 597. Remember the point's now here? I'm going to draw a line through that, just like we did in 7th grade. And then 7.35. Oh, those looks really weird, right? But those points are what have to be in the straight line. So I put some zeros here to fill in the spaces, add them up. $604.35. Both of these are the same, it just stays that, times 10 to the 22. Now, here's the million-dollar question. Is this in scientific notation? No, it's not. So I have to move that point back where it belongs. The point belongs right here, right? After the first significant digit, so I'm moving it back over 2 spaces. I have 6.04 times 10.08. I moved it over 2 spaces to the left. That means this number goes up, okay? So this becomes 24. So my last step should be, if it's not, put it in scientific notation. All right? So there's an addition one. Bit of work. It's a bit of work. We got to remember stuff from 7th grade, line up the decimals when we add them, right? The biggest mistake people are going to make is they're going to do 597, 7.35, and they're going to add it up like that. Wrong. We learned that in 7th grade. We have to line up decimal points, okay? All right. Let's do a subtraction one, and then we'll call it. So subtractions ones work exactly the same. All right. So same thing. I do not have all the same sign. We have a multiplication sign, a subtraction sign, multiplication sign. So I cannot change the order. We can't. It has to stay in the same order, okay? So we just follow our steps. Make your larger exponent equal the smaller exponent. This 26 has to turn into a 24, right? And then it says, move your point to the right. Well, how far? Oh, I'm moving it down 2 spaces again, right? 1, 2. So it's just 102 times 10 to the 24th minus 4.87 times 10 to the 24th. Once we have the same exponent, we can subtract. So I'm going to do 102. Remember, my point's hiding at the end now, right? Let's draw a line through the point like we did in 7th grade. 4.87. Put some zeros in the spaces. And we are subtracting, right? Is 0 minus 7, 7? No, don't fall back in those old traps, okay? We gotta borrow. This becomes a 10, then it becomes a 9, becomes a 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. Use calculators for this too. If you have a calculator at home, you can use that too, but just in case. 9 minus 8 is 1. Can't do 1 minus 4, right? This 10 becomes a 9. 97.13 times 10 to the 24th. Now, here's the question. Are we in scientific notation? I'm sure I hear like Alana and Nair saying, nope, point's got to move over, right? All right, so point moves over. There we go. 9.71. I'm not going to bother with that number. It's just too many two numbers after the point, right? Times 10, and I moved it over 1, so this has to go up 1. Now we're in scientific notation. One number before the point, right? All right, that's it. 8th graders, you guys have a great day. Next video will be on Thursday.